Welcome everyone, this is the F18 Hornet in DCS. And she needs no introduction really. This is one of the most high fidelity, study level fighter aircraft you will come across anywhere in the flight sim genre, without a doubt. DCS has done this bird proud, and many others as well. But we're just going to have a look today at a cold and dark start. We're going to take off, and then we're going to head around Dubai area. There's the Burj Khalifa in the background. It's a little bit windy today, bit of rain around. And then if we're lucky, we might even find a carrier. So with that being said, I'm going to jump in the aircraft and we'll get going. So first of all, of course, you need to start the battery. So right click on your mouse. And we need the APU. So that's on the left hand side console here. Switch that on, left button click, and you'll hear that spooling up. Now once that is ready, you'll get a green light here. By the way, we're in the Reverb G2, which, I mean, it's just the last word really in VR. It's just absolutely fantastic. I really often say I think the Reverb G2 was made for DCS. There we go. And then we're going to crank the left engine first, because that will provide us electrical power. And while we're doing that, we'll have a look at the engine control column there. That's not its technical name. Console display thing. Wait till it gets to 30 RPM there, and then we're going to crank the left engine. We're going to go to low idle. Listen to those beautiful sounds, and while that's happening, we're going to close the canopy, which is this one here. Hold it down with your left button. You know, every time that goes down, I feel like a proper fighter pilot. I love it. Now hold it down until you see it click. There we go, that's the bitchin' Betty. In fact, she has just retired, the woman who did the sounds for the F18, and I'll put a link in the description below of a little sort of 2-minute video about her that I think you'll find interesting. And thank you to one of my subscribers who pointed that out. It was really interesting. So, once we've done that, we can now crank the right engine. Same procedure applies. Look here on our IFE, I think it's called. That's alright. I'm getting there, guys. I'm no DCS hardcore pilot, but I do use this bird a lot. Once we get to 30%, again, we're going to go to low idle. And there we are. I have many of these things bound, by the way, to a key, and actually the Grim Reaper has got a very useful video on how to bind all of your sensors and all your controls to your HOTAS, so I'll put that in the link in the description below as well. Okay, so we've got a good engine start on both. We can now basically enable the right and left DDI. They will come into life, and that's this over here on the center console. That's the HUD display. Roll that with your mouse. There we go. Looking very nice indeed. And then we've got this center AMPCD panel. We'll pull that to full brightness and watch that come to life. See, it's these little things as well. It doesn't just come straight into life. It has to power up. And there it is, look. It's fantastic. It's a pure, just absolute masterpiece, this bird. Right, now I'm going to just basically, you see the master and caution light here. We're just going to press that twice and then reset the main button down here. There we go. The next thing we need to do is align the aircraft. Now there's many different ways of doing this. I mean, I think the actual proper method of doing this, I think it takes about 8-9 minutes to align, but we're going to do it the cheat method, which is still very realistic, by the way. You can do this in the real aircraft, I believe. We'll go down here, make sure our radar is operational. So right click twice, and then on the INS switch here, we're going to switch that to ground. Now, I'm going to come down here to our left DDI display. Hopefully you can see that on the mirror image. Click menu, HSI, and you can see here we've got a button, the MDI PB19, which is STD HDG, which is standard heading mode. We can click that once, and then basically it'll count down from 90 seconds for our alignment. There you go, you can see there. And it's now counting down, and we can leave that to do its thing. Next, I like to come over here and do a bit test. Now the bit switch, you have to click this button, the right MDI PB5 button there at the top, with the set at the same time as the bit switch. But I find sometimes it doesn't work very well, so I actually use the Y key for this. So we're going to do that now. Oh, actually, sorry, before that, make sure your flaps are on auto. Sorry, I forgot about that one. So we'll just click that to auto. There we go. Now, here we go. So we're going to click the Y key and the FCS MC button at the same time. And hopefully, with a bit of luck, she'll start doing a test. There we go. We'll look outside here, and you can see the flight computer is now checking all of the flight controls. Love how it does this. And then it will beep when it's done. So we'll just wait for that for a moment. There we go. And everything is all ready to go there. So we'll click the menu button here. And maybe we'll just put the HUD display on the right hand side for now. Now if you're interested, I'll do a few more tutorials. But to be honest, the Grim Reaper is the best for it. The way he explains it is far better than me. But if you have just bought the F18 Hornet, this is the way I do things. It might not be the correct order, but it gets the job done. So there we are, we're now fully aligned. It says there the quality 0.5 and we're okay. So now that we're aligned, we'll go to nav mode. So the INS button here, go to nav. Good stuff. Right, now we're going to uncage the attitude indicator by just clicking the mouse button and making sure that that sort of top white line is nicely sat on the horizon there, which it is. That's good. We're not going to need any ECM for this video. This is just simply a cold and dark start for this one. We're definitely going to need oxygen. Probably should have done this before. This is on the very back left of the panel. If I did this, by the way, with my previous Reverb G1, it would lose tracking, because I'm looking, craning my neck right at the back here, and I've got a wall just there. And the light is very dodgy, but for some reason the G2 is much better. I think it's those extra cameras. So there we are, the OBOGS control switch. Switch that to on. Still with me, guys, hopefully. So we're getting there. We are getting there. Now we need to make sure our ejector seat is armed. Do that now. So what else do we need to do here? I think we're about there, guys, to be honest. Put our landing light on. Anti-skid is on. Make sure that our trim is set for takeoff. You can do that by pressing this button here. There we go. Having a look outside, making sure everything is kosher. We've got a lot of weapons on today. I'm going to get rid of them, actually. I forgot to load the aircraft up clean as such. So at this point, we're looking pretty good, I would say. And that's basically it. Now, I've done that very quick, so feel free to pause the video and, you know, go through some of those settings. Okay, right, we're now going to... This is the parking brake here. I'm just going to click the left button here. And you need to make sure that you have a switch bound for your nose wheel steering, because you're going to definitely need that. You've got normal nose wheel steering, which I'll show you now. And then you've got high. And that really makes a difference to the turn radius. That's very useful when you're in a tight space like a carrier. Now, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to completely ignore ATC and we're just going to find a runway. That will do over there. And we'll get airborne. And this is where the fun part starts. Now, I'm using this Steam VR mirror today. Because there has been a number of updates, and if you have a Valve Index or a Vive, HTC Vive, you now can. You've got better options for motion smoothing. You can now, I think it's interpret about 6 different frames now, so that's pretty cool. For us Reverb G2 owners, though, it's still the same as before, which is a shame. So your target really is 45 frames per second in this sim to get pure motion smoothing. So here we are, we're going to go on the runway here, and we're just going to set half flaps for this takeoff. It's entirely up to you, really, depending on the nature of the takeoff. I think we're about ready to go, guys. Let's have a look outside here. We are ready to rock and roll. Okay, so all that's left for me to say is to shamelessly quote Balgeode, who's a YouTuber who knows far more about DCS than me, and I'll link his channel in the description below as well. I'm going to say what he says every time, and it really sets the scene. Brakes down and throttles up. Sorry, Drew, if you're watching this. I won't say it again, I promise. But you know what? I'm going to go to the outside view because I want to hear those sounds. Here we go. Listen to this. Oh my god. The best sounding fighter aircraft ever produced for a flight simulation. And we are airborne. Listen to that. Every time this gets me. Pure magic. Absolutely pure magic. We're very heavy actually, so first thing I'm going to do is go over this desert area and drop all of our ordnance because, to say, I didn't mean to load in the aircraft with all this weaponry because we're not going to shoot anything today. Right, so here we go, push to jettison, and there they go, look, that's most of everything off, although we can get rid of everything else as well while we're at it. There we go. And it's raining in that cloud over there, very nice indeed. I do like how the rain sticks to the cloud moving across the sky, it's pretty cool. So there you are, guys, you are now flying the F18 Hornet. I absolutely adore this bird, it's my favourite fighter aircraft. Not in real life, I actually prefer the F16, but I just really like the F18 in DCS, I think they've done a fantastic job. So while we're here, we'll just have a little tour of downtown Dubai, and then we'll go and find a carrier. Now, I've got the Super Carrier module, thank you to a subscriber who actually gifted that to me. I really do appreciate that, and I use it all the time. I really wish I could record all of my videos, because I often do campaigns and longer missions in DCS, but just don't have the time in the day. There's one thing, you know, flying and enjoying it, but there's another thing altogether, editing and recording videos. It can be a right pain in the backside sometimes. So yeah, I think really my advice to you, anyone who's flying the F18 and getting to know it, just don't worry about combat or anything like that, just get used to it, you know, do circuits, do carrier landings, just get used to the cold and dark start. It's amazing how, you know, after a while you do remember it all. Although I have to say, if I ever go, you know, a fair amount of time without flying her, I do have to brush up and do a bit of a currency flight. Which I did do the other day actually, because I haven't flown the F18 for about a month. And I got my new computer, and ever since installing it again, I've just been going crazy with DCS again. It's literally like a new sim again. And if you are wondering what computer I've got, I'm running a Stormforce 10900K with an RTX 3090, and I'm not affiliated with Stormforce at all, but I do have a link for a discount code in the description below if you're looking at getting a computer, whether it's a high-end or even a mid-range system. You know, a discount cannot ever be sniffed at, because you're probably on a, you know, a rig that's about £3 grand, you'll probably be saving about £200, and that's nearly a price for Quest 2. So So we'll just fly over the Burj Khalifa and then we'll head out and find a carrier and attempt a landing. And I say attempt because it is pretty hard and I haven't done one for a while. Here we go. One more flyby view, it's got to be done. What a beauty. So we're looking out for the carrier now. It shouldn't be too far away. I think we're nearly almost at the speed of sound at 600 feet. And one thing I do love about DCS, it does model supersonic flight, and you'll definitely hear the sound barrier. I can assure you that. Oh yes. So what we're going to do here is contact, I think it's Abraham Lincoln actually, this one. Yeah, it is. And say that we are inbound. Marshall, and we'll start slowing down a bit.
March Mops 100414, Angels 1.5, State 7.2.
And that is our weather, 2973. So we'll adjust our altimeter here, which is tiny, but you can see this in the reverb really well. I know I was always struggle to see this in the Rift S. 2973. There we go. Honestly, I don't even have to strain my eyes to see that little text there. I am using Steam VR 100% resolution, since the 3090 can really, it doesn't matter. I think that's the big deal with the 3090 card. It's not so much about raw frame rate, it's about the ability to you know, run much higher resolutions. So we're just going to slow down a bit more here. Now I won't be doing this correctly by the book, guys, okay? But I will tell you how you need to what, you know, to configure the aircraft for a carrier landing. But in terms of the pattern work, I do need to brush up on my knowledge on that. I know that I'm far too high already. But we're just going to overfly, make sure the carrier deck is clear. Fantastic, look at that, that's beautiful. We'll make a nice 6G bank.
117. See you at 10. Update state switch down. 117. State 6.9.
Okay, do you know what? I think that my DCS is auto doing the ATC for me. I've never had that before. Of course, I've just installed it, so there's probably a few settings that I need to tweak. But never mind, that's alright. That leaves us with the job of just concentrating on the landing. Now make sure that you do not lower your landing gear into your 250 knots. Otherwise, you'll have all kinds of pain because your landing gear will basically disintegrate. All of that kind of stuff is modelled. As I say, this is a study level aircraft and they've thought of everything really. So we're about 250 knots now, so we're now going to lower our landing gear. and go flaps to half. And this is really important. Make sure that you lower your hook, your arrestor hook, otherwise you'll have a bad day. Okay, hook is down, gear is down, flaps are down. This is feeling alright. Here we go, here's the... This is brilliant. Bit more power. Come on, baby, come on. Okay, dropping the speed. No, we didn't do it. We didn't do it. Bolter, bolter. And that's what will happen, guys. That will happen to you a lot. But that's okay. We are extremely low on fuel though. Like ridiculously low. So I'm a little concerned about that. So we've only got one attempt at this. Okay, second attempt. It's funny, you feel like you've got it, you've got the right speed and everything, and it'll all go wrong. And it's actually good practice to go full afterburner as soon as you hit the deck. I think that's what they do in real life. Right, waiting for that speed to drop down here. And then we're going to put the gear out once again. Gear coming down now. But I've overshot this a little bit. Do you know, I love the water effects in DCS. They really nailed it. Okay. So, flaps coming down. Now, weirdly for me, I'm going to keep my flaps at half because for whatever reason I find the aircraft just feels a bit more stable like that. So let's see if we're more successful this time. Right, we're right on the glide path at the moment. But you know, this is proper flying. This is what a real, you know, full-on flight simulator is all about. All of these procedures. In an aircraft like this, when you do get things right, it's an absolute joy. It's a reward. A very rewarding feeling. Just the other day I did a full 2.5 hour mission in the Hornet, and when I came back safe and sound, for tea and scones, as I like to say, it feels good. Feeling a little bit more unstable on this approach, if I'm honest. Looking at my indicator there, I am a little fast, you're right. Come on, baby, come on, this time. We get it. There we go. It's funny, that one was a lot less stable of approach, but I managed to do it this time. And there we are, look at that. Safe and sound. So, arrestor hook needs to go up. Flaps can go up. Landing light off. In fact, my anti-skid should have been off, I think. Or is it when you take off? I think it's one of the two, I can't remember. And we have made it safe and sound. And look at all our little people here. This is the super carrier module. And it really is just fantastic. Just to be able to do everything by the book. It's just a joy. I'm using the nose wheel steering in high mode now. Just so I can maneuver around the deck correctly. And that completes our little flight today. And what we'll do, we'll just pull up over here out the way. And we'll stow our wings as well. I'll show you how to do that. So parking brake set. And we're now going to fold our wings in. Pull it up and then back like that. I love watching this. Look at that. And that's us done for today. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye for now.